we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. Thanks for joining us for another great episode. We've got lots of things lined up for you today. We're talking insurance with Lindsey Tabor with American Family Insurance. We're also talking keeping you well with the Schneck Health Fair coming up in April 18th. You need to write that down. We're also talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, as well as with Aaron Banks with Jackson County Visitor Center and a brand new Jackson County Visitors Guide that just got released. Make sure you're getting your copy. We'll be back. We've got fun things up ahead. I want to thank our producer, Sean Hilder, for making all the magic happen this episode. Also want to thank Prosser Career and Education Center for making this show possible. Lots of ways to connect and level up with Prosser. You can check them out online at Prosser Career and Education Center. You can Google them and they'll come right up. We'll be back right here. I'm Kelly Trask. And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, and we are excited to visit today with Miss Lindsey from American Family Insurance. So thank you so much for joining us today, Lindsey. And we're going to talk about insurance. It is exciting. Hold on. Stay with us because we have some things I bet you didn't know. And one of those, of course, is definitely want to talk about some of those coverages that we don't think we need or we don't think about needing, but all of a sudden we need them. So what are some of those little known coverages? I mean, yes, we're going to check the box of life, home, auto. We know those things. Yes. But what are some of like the scraggly things that people don't always cover, but they really need to?
Pretty much as far as if it has wheels or a motor,
okay,
you need to have a policy for it. So
okay,
that's generally a good rule of thumb in insurance. And as far as like special coverages, a lot of people think your homeowner's insurance just covers everything in your home, but all policies are not created equal. Okay. And so there's always extra endorsements based on which company you're with. And certain companies cover things, other companies it's an added endorsement, and just knowing your policy and knowing what's covered under it is really important as far as a consumer.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of that, so you mentioned if it has wheels or a motor, so let's get specific. So if people are riding around this time of year in four-wheelers or UTVs, yes, does that need a separate coverage?
Absolutely. And I highly encourage if you do have any kind of like four-wheeler, side-by-side,
golf cart,
anything like that you also consider getting an umbrella. Because an umbrella is going to cover everything. It's going to cover your teen driver if they have an accident that exceeds the limits of your policy.
Yeah.
And it's going to cover if there's any kind of like, as big as social media is now, any kind of online slander, libel, things like that you might get into by commenting something. It also covers anything in excess of what your limits are on your homeowner's liability and your auto liability. So umbrellas are something that if you have a pool, a side-by-side, a boat, or a teen driver, that's something that, with legal costs now.
I bet you've had some stories where the person didn't have it.
Yes.
Does any come to mind? You're like, oh my gosh, don't be like this person.
As far as coverage, things like that, it happens, yes. And I've had some that come to me and they've requested, I just need state minimum coverages. And I'm like, that's a really hard thing for me because I understand I don't make your monthly budget, but I also know that if something happens, you're going to be paying out of pocket and it could financially ruin your family. And so it's one of those things that just knowing what coverage you have and all that stuff. But yeah, there are stories out there where people don't have the right coverage in place. I just had one not too long ago that had kid's friend ride a UTV on not even their property, on a family member's property, and the friend got hurt, and the legal fees are pretty astronomical. Wow. And unfortunately it exceeds the limits of their policy, their homeowner policy, and it's not pretty, and I wish they would have had an umbrella in place. But
okay, so an umbrella would have been the gap for that. Okay, so super important for everybody. If you're just watching this, make sure you have an umbrella policy.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And also that's true probably on the commercial side as well, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
If you're a business owner, having an umbrella in place that covers your liability, your business owner's policy, and all that stuff, covers your employees. Yeah.
Super important.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And so the next thing I want to talk about is life insurance. So everybody's heard it, but when do people need it? How much do they need? And why shouldn't they put it off? Because I'm sure you hear the stories all the time. I don't need it. Everybody needs it. Yep. Yeah.
I have those times when I call people or whenever I'm talking to them about their renewals and we're going on and I'm just like, you don't have a life insurance policy. Do you want to let's get something in place? Oh, I don't need it. And I had that situation a couple of years ago when I called someone in December. He didn't need it. And then I called him back in March to just touch back with him and found out he had stage 4 cancer diagnosed in February.
Wow.
And so unfortunately he didn't have anything in place. And so that's the kind of stuff that's like,
Because you can't get it then, probably.
Right.
It makes it really hard.
You can, but the places you can get it, it's super expensive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's a big push that I have. And people are like, yeah, I'm young, I'm healthy. And I'm like, that is exactly when you need to get it. I encourage parents to get it on their children. I have 5 kids. All 5 of my kids have a life insurance policy.
Really? Okay.
One of my children, I have 5 daughters, and one of them actually has something that a medical issue that would rate her up like triple what I got.
Okay.
It for. So possibly border on denied. So
Wow.
and you would never know by looking, but it's something that's like, you never know that day that you're perfectly healthy one day, start having a bad headache, maybe pass out, think you have high blood pressure, go to the doctor, find out you have something that's a diagnosis gets put in your medical history that causes your rates to go up increasingly or just be uninsurable. And
so if a parent gets a life insurance policy on a kiddo, that's more for the benefit of making sure the child is insurable as they grow up.
Right.
Not so much for a benefit if something were to happen to them.
And that's why I don't want, nobody wants to think about their child losing
now
their
I
life.
Understand why people do that.
Like for American
sense.
Family, we have a life insurance policy. It's a really good juvenile whole life product. And so you can get that and pay it off in 10 or 20 years. And then it's just going to build cash value for the rest of their life. Say you have it paid off in 20 years. If your child is 30 and wants to start a business, they have that cash sitting there that they can pull out and put a deposit on a home, put a deposit on starting a business. If they're perfectly healthy and have no issues, that's fine. And they can do that. Or they have specific life events that they have the opportunity to add more and they will never have to do a medical exam because they're guaranteed to be insurable up until a certain age. And they can continue to add more without having any medical exam.
Is this only with a whole life, or is this with a term life? Is this with any type?
That's with American Family with our juvenile whole life policy.
Okay.
And right now, like, I'm trying to get all parents. I'm like, this is an amazing product to guarantee. No matter what happens, your kid is going to be able and say they are 65 and they're perfectly healthy and they're ready to retire. They have that cash sitting there. Maybe they want to take their grandkids to Disney or something. For
of course,
a
by
dream
Disney,
vacation.
that will be what it will cost.
So I'm like, maybe they want to take that cash value out that's just been sitting there and growing faster than any savings account you can set up. And they want to take them on a vacation.
So when they go to renew it when they're 30 or 40, they're for sure coverage no matter what the issue is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All
They
right.
can keep adding up into a certain point, and then after that, if they want to add a different life insurance policy on it, but once they turn a certain age, then they can't add anymore without a medical exam, but they'll have that built up and it'll continue to grow for them.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing. All right, so we're here. Is there anything else you want to make sure people know? Common questions you get asked. Now's the time to make sure that people are checking their rates and things like that before renewal time.
Right. My biggest thing is I have a background in teaching. I was a teacher for 10 years. And so when I got into insurance, it was just crazy. All the stuff I did not know. And my whole life I've had insurance. I've paid for insurance, but I had no idea what it really covered. You know, it's one of those things that you put in place and hope you never have to use it. And luckily I really didn't have to use it very much. So I had no idea really what a deductible meant, how that affected my rate. I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I want a low deductible, but I don't want to spend too much on my insurance. And so one of the things I do with some of my clients, we walk through, hey, how comfortable are you with increasing your deductible a little bit to save on your monthly? And so some people are like, well, if I was in a car accident, I could come up with $2,000.
Right. That's why you have an emergency
versus
fund. Yes,
versus
exactly.
$250. And I'm like, doing things like that can offset the cost of your monthly premium. And just sitting down with your agent and working through that stuff. And also, I mean, I even encourage my customers. I'm like, I understand that you're not happy with the rate right now. And if you want to shop, I encourage them to please bring me your quote. And if it's a better quote, I'll be like, yeah, that is a really good really good coverage. I'm not going to try to make you spend more for something. So
the devil's always in the details.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times that if they go, and I have horror stories where people went and got it online.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing. They just checked the
not
boxes,
a good
got
idea.
the cheapest rate, and they're like, that's where I'm going. And I'm like, I can do that, but you don't have this coverage, this coverage, this coverage. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
That's why it's so much.
You're talking to a computer.
That's why it's
There's
so
only
much
so much
less.
AI knows.
Right.
I got it. You need like an actual human that
Right.
cares and thinks about our area.
Right.
So AIs can only do so much.
Exactly.
All right. So Lindsey, what's the best way people can reach out to you?
They can get a hold of me at my office on 4th Street, or my phone number is 812-522-2333. My email is ltabor@amfam.com, or I'm on Facebook.
So just Google you.
Yeah.
You'll show
Google
up
me.
somewhere.
Google
Yeah.
me. I win. No.
Yeah, exactly. I win. I love it.
I'm not really that.
No, you do. You're amazing. All right, we'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, visiting with Aaron Banks with Jackson County Visitors Center. So excited to have Aaron with us today. We're talking all things fun happening in and around Jackson County. Then we talked about everything. Like we mentioned, you don't have to leave the four corners of Jackson County to live a full life. There's everything here.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. What are some of your favorites coming up for the season ahead, as well as what are some fun things around the corner that people need to know about?
There are calendars loading. At the visitor center, we laugh, like January and February, it's just so quiet, and we're in the planning stages. And I love it because March breaks open, and all of a sudden, all the event planners are calling. Everybody's doing their things, and we've got so many fun things this year. I went to the Icebreaker the other night. There was a ton of fun out at the racetrack, and you can go to Brownstown Speedway. I think it's brownstownspeedway.com and get all their schedule. If you've never been to the races, they're just a lot of fun and a lot of good people. Did that. Of course, we went to Hidden Voice, and they raised their $43,000. Amazing for United Way. Coming up, the big thing that's kind of coming up next around the bend is the Acoustic Fest, the Crossroads Acoustic Fest. That'll be in downtown Seymour the end of April. You can get their tickets. You can get them online. Go to the Facebook page, or if you want to come in our office, we'll help you find them. We've had a few people before that aren't great with getting tickets online, so they came in, sat down. We're happy to help them out. But that'll be the end of April, and it's amazing. There's a lot of really, really good acts. And what I tell people is, if you look at that and you think, I don't think I know any of these people, that's okay. A lot of people didn't know a lot of people before they got started. So listen to the Spotify and come join us. If nothing else, it's an experience. It's a nice experience.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. Of course, all the Easter egg hunts and that kind of thing this weekend. Those are also on our website. Of course, the fair and Rock the Rind and all of that this summer is just... all those plans are going on. It's really cool to know that all these people are doing all these things behind the scenes to make everything better for everybody else. That give one more opportunity just to come and have a good time.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I like about my job most, is watching those people in action for the only reason to make other people, or to help us polish up the
Well,
quality
there's a lot of pride
community.
in where people live.
There
And
are.
that's very evident by all the things coming down the pike. So speaking of pride and where people live, this has been a fun promotion we've been doing with 92.7 is the Nash Cool
It has
Cash
been.
giveaway. So the only reason why we're talking about it, I mean, obviously $92.70 was fun to win, but what's on the line now, Aaron? And I mean, you've been getting people flooding with questions and clues. So let's talk about what's happening.
Yeah, you and I talked about it originally, and I thought, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll do that. That'll be a lot of fun. And I had no idea how many people would engage in this. And people have been coming in and out of the visitor center. Of course, the big clues are this week. It's $927 that you'll win if you find
worth
the
your
clue this
time
week.
to go around and find it.
And it's some work. I mean, you got to take some work. We had a lady come in a while ago that said she and her mom took the day off to go find
I love
them.
it.
Yes. So it kind of makes me smile. Everyone's been a lot of fun about it. We had one little lady came us through the doorway and she told me she was tired of looking, just wanted to know if we knew anything. It just
great.
made me laugh. But we do.
Yeah.
You have good listeners. You have great listeners, and they've been very engaging. So it's been a really fun promotion.
Well, and of course, I got to give kudos to Sean Hildreth because he spent hours and hours scouring the county for clue sites. He's like, what do you think about this one? And I'm like, don't tell me anymore if you choose it, that sort of thing. But, I think that's been such a cool thing. And I appreciate you kind of saying, hey, this, you got to hear my harebrained idea. And then we sit down and we just figure it out. So,
Yeah, that
but
was
it
fun.
really has been such a blessing. We've had so many people come in too that have just drawn families together. They hunt together and they find new things about Jackson County they didn't know.
I love that part of it because we're not I go to all kinds of things, and a lot of people have a college in their community, or they have a water park, or they
Sure.
have so many things. And in Jackson County, we have things that are so much better than that. If you just kind of rip off the top a little and kind
Yeah.
of dig a little deeper, we have a lot here.
Yeah.
Especially this promotion has been able to show people. Someone the other day
Yeah.
said, "I've never been to the covered bridges. Didn't know we had one." I said, "Well, we have two." So she was really excited about going out to see
that's
the
what
other.
it's all about. That's why it's so special.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
both the chamber and for us, and we kind of bounce off each other also
Sure.
with United Way Girls and Main Streets. If you need any information, call any of us. We've got it, and we've
Yeah.
got the resources to get to it.
Yeah.
A good Saturday morning is getting up and going. Show your kids what's going on here. Show
Yeah.
them their home. Show them their things. Have them climb a few things.
I love
or
it.
Jump on
I
a
would say
bridge.
between you, like you just mentioned, you, the chamber, Main Street, even the people at the radio station, you know,
Oh, yeah,
just
absolutely.
you know, ask somebody. We could probably help you, and if not, one of these other at least 5 to 10 other people can. So we
Right.
can make it happen. That's
Yep.
for sure.
Yep,
All right,
we
I
can.
love it. Where can people connect online with the Visitor Center?
JacksonCountyIN.com. We're
Okay.
an easy one. Just JacksonCountyIN.com,
Super
or
easy.
stop in and see us. Give us a call.
All right.
Yep.
I love it. We'll be back right
Thanks.
here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Join me, Jay Hubbard, weekdays from 6 to 10 every morning. It's Jay's Morning Wake Up Call, blending today's greatest country hits with local news, weather, and a couple laughs. Jay's Morning Wake Up Call on 92.7 WXKU.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. We're talking all things healthy, making sure you're staying healthy. And I tell you what, there's a whole team here in Southern Indiana that wants to make sure that you are feeling well. And of course, we're visiting with Hannah and Emily with Schneck Medical Center today, talking about a big health fair coming up. It's something that you do each and every April. But let's talk about what people can do there. Does it cost anything? What do they need to bring with them? What time is it? Do they need an appointment? I don't know, all the things. So we're going to talk with Hannah and Emily. So big event. When is that coming up?
Yeah, so it's going to be April 18th from 7 to 11 a.m. And this is at our Schneck Medical Center professional building. So people can park in our parking garage, any level. You can walk in on any floor and get started. There'll be someone with the foundation there to greet them and hand them a goodie bag and get them started. And basically, this is just a free community event. Anyone is welcome. It's really all ages. I'll let Emily here in a minute talk a little bit about what's there for the kiddos as well. But for the adults, we have free and reduced options. So there's reduced cost lab draws, free skin screenings, free prostate screenings, free breast and cervical screenings. There's a free heel DEXA scan, so that's a bone density test. There's quite a lot to be had and seen, and then obviously resources. So just get to know what we have available at Schneck. So definitely something for everyone.
I love that. And what's the date one more time?
Yeah, April 18th, that's
April
a
18th.
Saturday,
Okay.
from 7 to 11 a.m.
All right, perfect. And then kiddos are included too?
So the Teddy Bear Clinic is part of the health fair that is for the kids, typically tailored to kids age 3 to 9. Everybody that participates will be given a bear when they walk in, and they can take their bear to the different stations. The bear can get a surgery, stitches, go
Okay.
get a checkup. And our goal with that is to really take those nerves and the worry away from the kid whenever it's their turn to go to the doctor or go to the hospital themselves.
I love that. And again, there's no cost for kiddos either.
No cost. We have plenty of bears for everyone, so come and join us.
All right. And this event has grown over the years too, right? I
Yeah,
know it seems like
absolutely.
the radio commercial gets longer and longer of all the things that you're able to offer, which that's such a blessing to the community and people. So even if you think, I'm good, still go make sure you're good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, there's really something for everyone. This is supposed to be kind of, the full life cycle. Anything that you might be looking for or dealing with right now, we should have a resource or a screening available. I also, didn't mention, but we'll have pharmaceutical take back as well. So if you have old meds that you don't know how to
that's
get
a
rid
good
of,
idea.
what to do with.
Yeah, don't flush those, right?
Yes, that is not what we're supposed to do with
Yeah.
them. So we'll have a take back box at our pharmacy table on the first floor, and you can drop drop those in there and they'll safely dispose of those. There's also vaccination clinics. So if you're behind on any vaccines, come in and get those up to date. The Indiana Immunization Coalition comes in and does those for us. So that's a great resource. They can look you up on Chirp and see, you know, maybe you don't know what you need. They can look up and see for you. And
I was like, have you had a tetanus shot? I don't even know. I'm sure I did. How old was it? You know, it's been a minute. I'm fine. You know, those things. So it's good to make sure you're getting that stuff just once in a while. Just pay attention to your world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is an event I truly believe in. I mean, my family comes. My husband always is a little remorseful because he
cannot not come.
He gets drug in, and he always ends up having some vaccine he needs updated, and he's like, "Golly, I could quit coming."
I don't know.
But my kids come. They love the teddy bear clinic. So I mean, this is something that not only I organize and plan, but I truly believe in and think it's important for our community.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. Again, April 18th is the date, starting at 7 a.m., but you come when you want. You don't need an appointment. It's free. And if there's something you need to follow up with on your primary care provider or another provider, I'm sure that you'll let them know. So,
yeah, absolutely. And you can check out our website, schneckmed.org, visit the events page, and you can learn more about what all's there and what's available and maybe what you want to take part in.
All right. Love it. Thank you. You do too. All right. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're hanging out with Oscar with Big Brothers Big Sisters through the Foundation for Youth program here in Bartholomew County in beautiful Columbus, Indiana. And Oscar, let's talk a little bit about what Big Brothers Big Sisters is, and then how you have different programs even within. So let's talk about that.
Well, it's a mentor-based program. It is an opportunity for a young person who's looking for another trusted adult so that they can learn from, to understand from, and also connect with. And so what we do with the Charge program, it's basically for high school kids.
Okay.
And so what we learned is that a lot of high school kids didn't feel comfortable with the idea of being Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
So we went to them and we talked to them about how can we get you the mentorship that you would like. And so they kind of helped us restructure it.
I like
and
that.
they don't like words like mentor. They like words like coaches.
Got you.
And so they don't like being littles.
Yeah.
They are okay with being mentees, though.
Yeah, okay.
And they also don't like the idea of one-on-one as much, the awkwardness that you have.
Yeah.
But what they do like is if they're in a group.
Okay.
So with their advice, we created a group called the Charge program, which they also picked the name as well.
Okay.
And what they're doing with that is that instead of one-on-one, we're up to 1 to 5 in a group.
Okay.
And you'll have one person come in once a week during one of their free periods, and they'll come together and just talk, hang out, sometimes just play Uno, talk about whatever they're going on in their life.
Yeah.
And more than anything, it's an opportunity for them to come together and build a new community.
I love that. With people that they may not have met in their general walks, regardless.
Of course. Some of the things that we've seen is that we've had one story of a student said that we went to school together for 6 years and we never spoke to each other. And now after graduation, they're still connected.
Wow, I love that. I bet you have tons of success stories.
We do. One of our greatest success stories that we have right now is a young lady named McKenna England. She was our first student. She did not want to do it, but we encouraged her to try it. And when she tried, she went through the whole program, stayed in it for 2.5 years. And after she graduated, she said she wanted to be a coach because she wanted to be exactly what she needed when she was younger.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
so she is
awesome.
giving back, doing this, and she's also speaking for us and advocating on how important it is to have that mentor.
That's awesome. So tell me, if someone's watching or listening, what's the best way that they can get connected or serve the program, or and how long is that commitment?
Well, you can go to the FFI website, to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and you can get an inquiry there, sign up, and they will connect you and get you hooked up right away. The commitment is going to be we're asking for at least a year.
Okay.
But it's once a week, and there's also, that's for the site-based and for the Charge program, and for the community, it's a couple hours a month, and a chance for you to go out to the community, take them, and just stay committed. But a lot of times what you'll see is that whenever you're building these relationships, that you don't want to break them after a year.
Yeah, I was going to say,
so
you want to keep
grows
going.
up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they become your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And I also love the idea that whenever you're a mentor, you look at this as teaching and hanging out with a young person, but then you start learning more about them and what else you might be missing.
Do you think you hear that the people who thought that they were going to be the ones giving their time, they're the ones probably learning the most?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
imagine that would be true.
Well, I mean, for one thing, every generation changes.
Yeah.
And so you are learning what you've learned and you've kept doing it those same ways. And then you find out 20 years under you, they're showing you a new way to do it that might be more efficient. And also the way that they're thinking is different. My wife, who is a mentor, learned a little bit more how to parent her daughter based on someone else's exposure from a different child, you know, or a different youth.
Well, it's all about just making those connections and bridging the gaps of time and, you know, really attitudes. Because I imagine it's a great opportunity for everybody to learn from each other.
It is.
I love that. If that sounds right for you, do get connected with Big Brothers Big Sisters through the Foundation for Youth here in Columbus, Bartholomew County. But you have chapters all throughout Southern Indiana, correct? So it doesn't really matter, but just get connected to one in your local community. But this is a great place to start. We'll be back right here on Kelly Trask.
This has been another great show, another great episode coming to you for Southern Indiana Now. You can check us out online, all the places you can get podcasts. I mean, really, the list is crazy long, including our website, southernindiananow.com, as well as our YouTube page, Southern Indiana Now. You can find us there as well. Hey, if you have an idea of something you would like to see on the show, something you want to know more about, maybe it's just some crazy stories. Whatever the case is, we want to make sure you're getting connected and getting all the information that you want right here on the show for Southern Indiana. We'll be back next week with another great episode all lined up for you. And again, if you have anything, you can also send us an email at southernindiananow@gmail.com.